Coming in at $150 US, Chanel's Sublimage Ultimate Radiance Serum Foundation promises an unprecedented texture that melts into skin and instantly creates a smoother, more radiant looking complexion. Well, today we're going to try this luxe base to find out if it lives up to these claims and to this hefty price tag. We're covering everything from packaging to application to a complete 12-hour wear test. We're gonna start with the packaging, which is obviously beautiful because come on, it's Chanel. I tend to order directly from Chanel because I love that you get this gorgeous packaging. I love Nordstrom for their return policy, but you don't get this beautiful box. I just love the added luxury, and if you're spending $150 on a foundation, you deserve it. Right out of college, I worked as a rep for Chanel, and I was always just so enamored with the packaging of the Sublimage line. It's just gorgeous across the board. The component itself is a nice, hefty glass bottle, has the beautiful CC monogram on the top, feels very weighty, very nice, and just is gonna look gorgeous on any vanity. So obviously, packaging is a yes. They have hit it out of the park as always. You get 1.35 fluid ounces of product, and it has a pump function as its dispenser. It also comes with a brush, and it's actually really nice, feels quite dense and lovely and pretty well made. We're gonna use this beautiful brush that came with it. I love that it's kind of dense, which I think is gonna work really well since this is a serum foundation. I do tend to like a more packed bristle brush when I'm using a serum foundation. We have shade B10 here. The viscosity of this is pretty thin. I wouldn't say it's like very watery. I definitely own some foundations, serum ones in particular, that are a bit more liquidy than this, but it is a bit liquidy and it does spread really well. So it's pretty much in line with a serum foundation. Right off the bat, let's mention Fragrance City. It is that classic Chanel, the classic Sublimage, might I say, fragrance. It just brings back so many memories of working at the Chanel counter and just that smell. Let's zoom in and check out with one light layer and see where we're at. We have a very radiant, natural finish here. To me, this is light coverage. That's how I would describe it personally. I think it looks absolutely beautiful in the skin. Me, as someone with drier skin, putting this on, I can already tell that this foundation does what so many of Chanel's skincare infused makeup products do, which is it's amazing for drier skin and probably definitely maturing skin, aging skin. Right here where I have like my little baby smile lines, I can instantly see how this foundation works better there than most of my foundations. I would say any of my foundations that are like a medium coverage and up. And it's funny because with such light coverage, you still though see that we've got a lot of like smoothing and kind of perfecting going on. I'm really pleasantly surprised. I have to tell you, when I worked for Chanel, this would not have been a foundation I would have gone for. I mean, gosh, what was I thinking? I have to be honest, this is something I feel like I could wear with nothing else and I would just feel so comfortable in my skin. Like, I love how it does that with such little coverage. And part of how it does that, we're gonna apply the half of the face while I talk about one of the big ingredients in here that is often in the Sublimage line, and that is called Vanilla Planifolia. This foundation in particular also has mica in it, and so that's very finely milled, and what it does is it bounces light. So that's why we can see, even with a very light coverage, this is bouncing the light off of the face, which has that blurring effect and makes the skin look more perfected, even with a lighter layer of coverage. I'm putting a little bit more on my forehead. I just want to see if we can build this up. I've definitely tried a couple serum foundations that don't build up very well. So I just want to see if we can maybe build up the coverage a tiny bit with this, or if we're gonna find it slipping and sliding. And I will say, I'm also very impressed that this brush works really well. Again, I do like a dense brush for a serum foundation. I feel like you need that, otherwise you're just kind of gonna be sliding, just slip sliding around. We don't want that. I do notice a tiny bit where it's not laying very perfectly on the tip of my nose. I have a dry spot there right now, so it's not like having the best time there, but pretty much everywhere else, it looks really lovely. Besides the scent, it's almost indetectable. We've got the entire face done. I was able to build it up a little bit and it built up really nicely. I don't see any streaking. It didn't pull product up from under it. Oh my goodness. I kind of hate that I like it because it's $150, number one, and number two, the scent. Like, I feel like that scent. I am shade B10, which is the lightest shade. The shade match is perfect, of course. Let's be honest, the lighter end of the shade range has never been Chanel's problem. Their problems tend to be as we get to deeper skin tones. While I finish the rest of my makeup, I'm going to show you this foundation swatched next to two of my other foundations that I use the lightest shade for, that are my best matches, just so you can see, in case you are as fair as me, that might help you out in determining if this shade would work for you. So the rest of my makeup is done. We went very soft, very timeless, because I mean, come on, we're reviewing Chanel. We have to keep with the theme here. I will list and link all the other products on my face in the description box below if you're interested. Also on the cheeks, I am wearing the new Bite Beauty Daycation cream blushes. I did an entire video on those blushes. I will be sure to link that up in the eye above in case you're interested in learning more about those blushes. I am going to keep this on for the rest of the day. It's currently 10 a.m. so I'm going to check in at 2 hours, 6 hours, and again at 12 hours. That being said, let's talk final thoughts. All right, so color me surprised, you guys, because as I put on the first half of this foundation, I thought it's not doing anything. And now as I'm wearing it, it is kind of just like effortlessly perfecting my skin in a very natural way. You cannot point to anywhere on my face and be like, oh, I can see your foundation there. Like, you just can't. It's just that good. I have said this multiple times. My goal in life is to just look like one of those people that they just look like naturally polished and like they naturally have it together and they never forget to floss. I want to look like that person. I mean, so much so that I actually never forget to floss. I floss daily, and my dental hygienist at my most recent appointment mentioned it. She was like, you clearly floss every day because your gums do not bleed at all. So, wow. We got off on a tangent. Back to the foundation. This is beautiful. And the only thing that I don't like, actually there are two things that I don't like about this foundation. Number one, I don't like the price tag. $150 is insane, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie and pretend like I'm not someone who's willing to spend $150 to look like this, because I am. Number two, I don't like the fragrance. Like, it's kind of getting me in the back of the throat because I have the bottle sitting out, so I'm like smelling the Sublimage scent. And I understand that it's the vanilla ingredient that is like the signature ingredient of the entire Sublimage line, but I wish that fragrance was not there. Now, once I put the bottle away, the scent has now dissipated. I cannot smell the fragrance on my skin. It is not irritating my skin at all. I will keep you updated throughout the wear test. But again, if you are someone who is sensitive to fragrance and you prefer to not have any fragrance in your foundations or your makeup, stay away from all things Chanel, pretty much. So I'm in love. I hope that this love is still going strong 12 hours from now when we see what my face looks like at the end of the day. But for right now, I'm having a little bit of a love affair with this. Gotta be honest. All right, we're 2 hours in. I still feel like everything looks really lovely. It's settled in nicely. I don't see it clinging to texture. It still looks really smooth and seamless. I'm just kind of really in love and wish I wasn't. I haven't powdered or done any touch-ups of any kind. For me, this is like a perfect finish. So we'll check in at 6 hours. So we're 6 hours in. I'm so freaking impressed, and I've been blowing my nose because my allergies are just the worst right now. So I see a little bit of like places where from blowing my nose, like physically having a tissue. Obviously there's nothing that can prevent that, but overall everything just looks so natural, and I love how radiant this foundation is. Like, even here where see like I smile and I have baby smile lines, this foundation is so much more flattering there than any foundation other than than my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. I just feel like this may very well become one of my favorite foundations, which bothers me so much at this price tag, but dang, it's nice. All right, we just passed 12 hours and I'm really pleased with this. I feel like it looks still really good. My skin looks really even. I don't have a ton of coverage left right here. I did like spill some water. My daughter spilled some water on me, so that's probably part of that. But even on like the places where I generally have breakup, it looks really good. I'm extremely happy with this. To me, this feels closest to my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. That is my absolute favorite foundation of all time. That one is more than half the price. It just has a little bit more coverage. This is a better match for me than my Armani Luminous Silk. It is a little glowier than I would like it to be right now, but I probably, if I wasn't doing a wear test, I would have powdered a little bit. I put on no powder and it did not powder because I didn't want to affect how long it would wear. I just decided not to powder it. So I prefer to have most of the glow confined to like the outer portions of my face versus the center area. So that being said,